Yeah, good morning, Eric.
Morning, Mr. K.
Okay, so today we talk about soft skills. Yeah, for this one, I think we can talk a lot about the skills, the soft skills. Inside it, we have many things. So I think we can kick off with the definition. Yeah. Before this, I want to uh, confirm with you whether did you uh, notice that there is a link beside the
Yeah,
topic, right? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. First is the definition, and actually I refer to the link, yeah, which is the information from Wikipedia, the concept part. Yeah, the definition here is like soft skills are a cluster of productive personality traits that characterize one's relationship in a social environment. Yeah, for this part, this is the sentence I want to highlight. And then there are two things I can see in this sentence, which is important. The first part is is the personality trait. Yeah, and the second part is the social environment. Yeah, so my understanding of soft skills is like it is similar to a personality, a character of somebody. Yep, and it can be applied in your life and also in your work, in your career, and across many jobs. Yeah, so this is um, the first point. I think it is important. And the second, just now I mentioned, is the social environment, which I think soft skills is more towards uh, the EQ part instead of IQ. This is more towards social. How do you connect yourself with the world, with the people? Yeah. So there are many skills can be related. So this is my understanding, and also about the definition part of soft skills. Yeah. So for this, uh, do you have any things want to add in, or do you have any disagreement with my thinking just now?
mm, no, I fully agree. And when you came up with this topic, and I look at soft skill, and
Mm,
my first thought is, okay, soft skill equal communication skill,
mm,
equal in uh the interpersonal skills.
mm,
So the skill to maintain a good relationship with others,
mm,
and yeah, this is my first thought. And up, I think it is something like my mm, my blind spot,
mm,
and this actually very logic. And if you look at the soft skill, the real definition should be
mm,
non-hard skill.
mm,
Yeah, and skill, what does it mean? Is skill means it can be learned. And what does it hard and soft? Hard, that means this is something like a specific. You can like hand on and learn the skill,
mm.
and you can, some people can teach you
Yep.
and guide can guide you, and you can learn in the classroom. Yeah, of course, a
Mm,
soft skill you also can learn in a classroom, but it's very hard to quantify
mm,
the effectiveness of this thing. And
yep.
when I click inside the soft skill, and I saw, oh, yeah, actually, soft skill is kind of like include the critical thinking,
Mm,
problem solving,
yep.
public speaking, etc., etc.,
Mm,
and yeah, and also like teamwork, all these things.
mm,
And yeah, and after I checked the real definition, I found, oh yeah, this is more logic. Yeah, it's more logical to me because soft skill. What does it mean? Soft, which means something hard to quantify, but soft skill technically, if you combine these two words together, a
Mm,
skill which means it's important to you, uh, and it can be learned,
mm,
and maybe it also must be learned, something like that. So yeah, so in short, it's something like a skill difficult to quantify and important to us and can be learned.
mm,
What are those things? Mm. So is it not just about communication skill
mm,
and interpersonal skill? So this is what I overlook. Mm.
mm,
Yeah, of course, I understand the importance of critical thinking, problem solving, but I kind of like didn't link it to the soft skill because I'm not fully aware the definition of soft skill.
mm.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah, really. For me also, I didn't include so much in the soft skills. Yeah. Also, I think mostly before watching these, seeing this information, I also thought that soft skills is like dealing with people. Yeah, mainly is the interpersonal skill. Yep. Okay, and then yeah, let's go uh, to the next part, which is uh, soft skills versus hard skill. Yeah, and for this one, just now you also mentioned a little, right? Uh, Hard skill is something that we can quantify, we can learn more easily, right? Maybe from
Mm.
book or we learn from the class. Also, in many of the countries, our education system, many of them are teaching the hard skill. For
Mm.
example, mathematics. Yeah, you can learn how to maybe solve the equation. Yeah, and also for some other subject. Yeah, but for soft skills, it seems like uh, I wouldn't say it is like absent in the school. It still have, but it is not like uh, in the subject. It is like maybe you learn some soft skills in some maybe work or assignment in the school, the group assignments or some activities, teamwork you will encounter in the school. Yeah, that kind of thing. So uh, yeah, for soft skill and the hard skill, uh, um, yeah, I believe that they are both important. And then uh, the difference is that soft skills can be applied in a broader aspect in our life. And when we talk about the career part, soft skills sometimes make you uh, outstanding, make you like different from other people. Hard skill, on the other hand, sometimes you feel a lot of competition. Let's say when you submit your CV and you found that many other candidates they have like a similar qualification with you, or maybe they are a lot better than you. So yeah, I think soft skill is like uh, make you difference, and then it is again something like a personality you have. Yep. So for soft and hard skill, uh, the importance, how do you see?
Yeah, first thing, Mr. K, I think your speaking got too much.
Oh, right.
Mm.
Okay.
So do you think it's a soft skill or hard skill? As it can be overcome.
Mm,
So what skill do you need? Do you think in this case?
In this case, this is, I think, um, yeah, I think it's a soft skill. This is something related to speaking or maybe language. Is like communication.
But language speaking, wouldn't it be the little bit related to hard skill?
Language, actually, from the
If you
information.
if you say
Mm,
you learn something, okay, so okay, you say yeah, I okay. One thing I want to let you know, in my opinions, one subject doesn't mean it must be categorized into hard skill or soft skill. It can
mm,
be both.
yeah.
This is something I want to make sure.
Mm.
So when you talk about languages, soft skill, which part are you referring? Are you referring about the grammar? Grammar is a hard skill. There's a lot of rules you can
Mm.
read,
Yep.
you can understand, you can memorize, you can practice. This
Mm.
is a hard skill.
Mm.
How about speaking? Speaking also got some rules, right? Because this is based on the vocabulary and
Mm.
also based on your grammar.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
And so if you say if you regarding the soft skill, which part?
Soft skill firstly is yeah, it could be the topic few days ago, the listening skill we have discussed. That day, I
I
think
mean,
it's mainly
no,
soft
yeah,
skill.
I mean, so for the case, for example, you say you want to solve the in
Mm.
this case,
Mm.
you say it's a soft skill, and which part is regarding?
For this one is, I think is the tempo of speaking, the
Tempo speaking,
uh, the the pace. Yeah, I want to say the word 节奏.
the
Uh,
rhythms.
yeah, rhythm in speaking and also the speed,
Yeah,
which is like, mm,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry for
in
disturbing.
conversation, it is like not only one side, it is two side, both side. So I think there is a skill to for me to manage, which is like how do you manage the speed of the conversation? Sometimes your counterparty will speak faster, and how do you manage the rhythm, yeah, the pace, the speed.
I don't get what you mean, because this is just about solving some bad habits, the in your speaking. Even though when you're doing the public speaking, would you have this kind of bad habits? I think it
I
must have.
Yes, yeah, it is a
Mm,
habit.
yeah,
Yeah, but
and also
actually, mm,
uh, it didn't involve two-way communication, because only you are talking. Of course, when people respond to you
mm,
and you will listen, and then you will respond back. You respond back your point of view, something like
mm,
that. But when you are speaking, people are listening. When you make too much unnecessary sound, is are you talking about this a two-way?
um, okay, in this part, it is not two ways.
Mm,
Yeah, but I found another one which is awareness also.
right. Awareness is the most important thing, to
Mm,
me, in order to solve
awareness
the
is
problem.
soft skill, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And for me, in the past, I also have a lot of this kind of unnecessary sound.
Mm,
And yeah, of course, now still have, but I managed to reduce it. I couldn't fully avoid it, but I can try to reduce it. And how to do it? First thing, you need to have the awareness to you want to solve a problem.
mm,
Yeah. How do you increase your awareness? How do you remind yourself every English conversation I mean, how do you remind yourself just before, maybe just a second or just a minute before the 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 beginning of the English conversation, you know that you're going to encounter this problem,
Yeah.
and you know that you remind yourself, and then you understand that, okay, I need to aware I have this problem. Before today's conversation, do you have the awareness? No. Before
No.
yesterday's conversation, do you have this awareness? No.
Mm.
3 days ago, 2 days ago, 4 days ago, 1 week ago?
Mm.
No. When you have, when I remind you, and the
Mm.
next day you have, but the day after the day, you don't, you lose the awareness.
Mm. Yeah, you're right.
So the awareness of the awareness, what does it mean? What is it called? Meta
Meta.
connection.
Yeah. Mm.
Yes, meta connection. Yeah. So, so
Mm.
we discussed quite a lot of meta connection in the past. This is kind of like the meta connection is a very, very important skill. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so all of this is a soft skill.
Mm. Yeah. And also thank you for pointing it out again and again to me.
Then
Yep.
how do you going to solve a problem?
Okay. I
To
have a.
me,
Mm.
to me, yeah, I share you some of my thoughts. For
Okay.
example, yeah, but of course, in the past, I don't do that because I can always remind myself
Mm.
before the English conversation
All right.
and know that I'm going to make a unnecessary sound. And whenever I make an unnecessary sound, I will aware that I will notice it. And but because it's maybe because I have already developed the skill to detect my mistake.
Mm.
But for some people who have less awareness, what can you do? Maybe let's say you are using your phones
Mm.
to do the English pronunciation. You can put a note in front of your home screen
Mm.
or in front uh, on the top of your notes, because maybe uh, you got your note
Mm.
because you need to record what you're going to say in the
Mm.
conversation, and
Yeah.
you can write the thing at the top of the note. If you can enlarge if you can enlarge the reminder, you can do that. Yeah, remove R, or something like avoid R, or something like aware R,
Mm.
something like that. So you can more or less try to reduce it, and you don't let the problem goes away. Try to imagine your purpose is improve your English, but you say and you think you want to improve your English, but you don't have the awareness, want to remove some of the bad habit when you are speaking.
Mm.
Does it really mean that you are on the direction? No. But what does it mean? For example, first, it's just a rationalization. You have nothing to do. And you say you want to improve English. Maybe it's because you are a teacher, something like that. So you say, okay, I want to improve the subject. Yeah, and maybe kind of like more professions. Is one. And the second, it could be you just don't have the awareness. You just don't aware you make the mistake.
Mm.
You once go to this direction, but you don't know you actually are heading to another direction.
Yep.
So this is meta connection. This is reflection. And is it so difficult to came out this solution? No, right?
No, yeah. But the
Mm.
awareness is the key. Whether you found your problem,
Yeah.
then
Do you?
mm.
I think you aware your problem, right? You aware you got a lot of unnecessary sound in your
Mm.
conversation, but why? Why you didn't came out a solution
Mm.
like what I said just now?
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
think this is.
what's a missing part?
Mm.
I miss a. Okay, sorry. I think I didn't blame you, but this also this is something like a very, very common mistake every people will make, including me.
Yeah.
And I also keep making the mistake. Okay, and for example, yeah, when I do investment, for example, I say, okay, yeah, the price keep dropping. Why don't I sell? Why don't I sell and buy back later? I foresee the price is going to drop, and yeah, I got very high. I think it's a high pro. This is This is the drop is, to me, the chance is probable, is highly probable. Why don't I sell and then buy back later? And then at the same time, my awareness will pumps up. No, don't sell. Remember what you did in the past. Every time you try to manipulate, every time you try to manage your trade, you just mess it up. Yeah, I have the awareness. For example, carnivore diet, every time I saw a sweet, people handing me some sweet, some snack to me, I will say, no, sorry, no, I don't want. And just like yesterday, my colleague say that, yeah, I want to learn from you. Yeah. And you are so disciplined. And yeah. And what's in my mind? No, this is not discipline. Because I know if I eat this thing, I will feel bad. Yeah. Try to imagine you eat a thing, you eat a fruit, and then it make you feel bad. Will you eat it next time? No, you definitely know. You're not going to eat it next time because it make you feel bad. So this is something like this. So yeah, awareness. How pain you feel, how eager you want to solve a problem. And this is another thing, which is you say you want to improve the English. Does this related to English, right? And but why you don't put your awareness on this? Why you didn't kind of like really want to solve a problem? And is it related to English? And your goal is you want to improve the English, right?
Yeah.
So what's the missing part? You have to find out for yourself. Different people have different answer, have different regions.
Yeah.
And you have to do your own reflections. You have to solve a problem. All of this thing is just related to soft skill, critical thinking, problem solving.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, before I say this, I thought this is like problem solving, which is I didn't spend the time, or maybe didn't try enough to find out the solution. But I found that there is another, which is, like you said, the being eager to solve the problem, to fix my problem. Yeah, this is also something that is lacking.
No, I mean, no, I think to you, it's not kind of like lack of the desire to solve a problem. You really have the desire, want to learn English, and you put in effort for 1 year, 2 years, and you want to deny your all success and find an excuse to cover up your mistake. Say, okay, I have not enough desire. No, this is not the case. This is just rationalization. And what I see is maybe you not sure what you really want. Yeah, maybe what you want is not improve your English. So that means if the underlying motive is not really you want to improve your English, you wouldn't spend time, you wouldn't spend energy, you wouldn't spend your focus on it. For example, I think investment and trading is so important. I will keep putting my focus on it. Nobody can stop me. This is just something that automatically figure out what you want. And once you figure out what you want and really understand what you want, know why and know what, and nothing can stop you. This is how passion works. So passion is not just like, I keep talking, I want to do something, and the passions can be cultivated. No, you need to find out what you want. Of course, you need to try. You need to try many things in order to find out. And also another trap is you keep fighting, but you didn't try. You didn't really sit down and do something and try something for enough long time to let you know whether this is something you want. So it can be both ways.
Yeah.
In short, trial and error, but there's so many nuances inside the trial and error.
Yeah.
And just like you say, you didn't came across the solution. But why? For 1 year, for 2 years. And also one of thing, I think, there are two of the things. The one thing is about the rhythm, just like you say, the rhythm. I read something before, and yeah, rhythm is really, really, really important. And the native speakers, yeah, their speaking is kind of like very, very fluent. And why they're so fluent? It's not because they can speak fast. Not only they can speak fast, they follow a rhythms. They find their own rhythm. They find their own pace. Many people have many space. Different people have different pace, and you don't see different speakers. They follow a same type of rhythm. They stop at the same part when they speak the same sentence, but they can speak well. They can speak well. They find their tunes. They find their rhythms. Just like the dancing. Dancing is not something like you follow a rules. It's kind of like you cultivate a sense, the sense of dance. You find your own rhythms, and then you cooperate with your partner. But you and your partner don't have a fixed set of rules how to dance in which second. When the music sound, when the music change, what should we do? And when the music keep going, first we need to do this, second we need to do that, and okay, now it's the first part, second part, third part, fourth part. You don't do it in every second. Maybe you do this kind of planning. You have the awareness. Okay, this song we need to dance in this way. Maybe a 4-minute music song you split into 4 minutes, 4 parts, but you don't do it in every second.
Yeah.
So it's something like a sense, and rhythm is so important, really, really important. And the next thing is, which is the second thing I want to mention, you need to cultivate a sense to speak fast. Look around. Which native speakers speak slow, or they don't have the ability to speak fast? No, none of them. They can speak fast. They can choose to speak slow, but they have that. But they are capable to speak fast, really, really fast, and by maintaining the rhythms. So, do you think that maybe there's some causation here, or maybe there's some association here? If your kids speak so slow, how can you cultivate the rhythms? No rhythm you can cultivate for slow speaking. It's just a common sense. Only you can speak fast, and you can find the rhythm. You speak slow. If you speak slow, how do you cultivate the rhythms? No, you just can't. So this is 2 points of the race.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, thank you for again for that. All right, so yeah, again, go back to hard and soft, the importance. And just now, yeah, after you share with me my problem, and then uh, some of the solution and suggestion. Yeah, I found that when we talk about importance of hard and soft skill, and one of the things is the benefit, or maybe mm, which part is better, the soft. I mean, soft skills is what is the things that soft skill can give, which is like to us, which is more important. I think is soft skill can help us to improve the hard skill as well as the soft skills itself. Just like just now, my let's say the speaking part is the hard skill. The problem of me is hard skill, but soft skill actually help me to have the awareness to fix the problem in my hard skill. Yeah, so
Mm,
this is one I found from soft and hard skill and why soft is important.
mm.
Yeah.
But to me, speaking is kind of like a soft skill. Hmm. So, why do you think speaking speaking a language is a hard skill?
No, I am referring to the just now a lot. Yeah, this kind of unnecessary voices, which is I look at just this problem. I think this is hard skill, not to have these kind of things. But
Really?
if you want to fix
Mm,
that, you need soft skill, you need awareness, you need problem solving to fix it.
but how do people learn how do people learn speaking?
Learn speaking is uh, starting from listening and then try to know the meaning of separated words and then form a sentence and then know how to interact with others.
Mm, is it a hard skill?
The whole yeah, if we combine all these, I think this is a soft skill. But
Mm,
when like learn the meaning of the word is hard skill.
but how baby and how a child learn a language? Why they can speak so well at the same time they couldn't write?
Yeah, through listening and then what they see.
Mm,
Yeah.
but there's no people teaching them subject by subject,
Mm,
chapter by chapter.
mm, yeah.
So is it still a soft skill, hard skill? So I think one problem is, does hard skill really needs a guidance, something like that, in order to learn? This is one.
Guidance.
I mean, this is one thing mm, to find out. Maybe you can differentiate soft skill and hard skill. For example, you
Mm,
learn a business, learn a business subject in college. This is a hard skill. But when you want to do the real business, this is
yeah.
soft skill.
Yeah.
You learn accounting. Accounting, I think more or less is a hard skill.
Mm,
Mm. But in some part you require the judgment. The judgment part is a soft skill.
mm, yeah.
But the whole rules, because you need to follow the whole accounting standard of this thing, it's just hard skill.
Mm,
And you can articulate the concept why we need to follow the prudence, why we need to follow a set of this kind of principle. For example, the going concern, something like that.
mm,
And you can articulate the concept, but this is still hard skill. You learn through the textbook.
yeah.
So yeah, for me, I don't, because in my mind and also in my heart, I don't really separate them, because I just look at what I need and I learn it. I don't differentiate them. Whether it's hard skill or soft skill, if it can help me, I just learn it. I just use it. I don't care whether they are hard skill, they are soft skill. So if you want to put inside a system into your brain to differentiate whether it is soft skill or hard skill, you need to identify, you need to find out what is the cost and benefits. Putting this new system, putting an additional system into your mind, whether it will benefit you or it will just confuse you, it will just make your brain overload. Maybe not overload, but put on more load, put on more workload. To me, I think it's not necessary.
Yeah. So there is something from here, which is what is important. We need to know and then learn the important skill. Either they are hard or soft, right?
Yeah, but to really understand what is soft skill and what is hard skill, I think it's still a good knowledge to learn. What I said just, you don't need to always ask yourself whether it is soft skill, whether it is hard skill. If it is soft skill, okay, so I don't learn. If it is hard skill, okay, so I learned. You don't need that concept in your mind. That's to identify, to differentiate, to distinguish the soft skill and hard skill is also good, because it can kind of like allow you to really know that maybe what you really lack, maybe how to improve yourself, something like that.
Yeah.
And I ask you some question. For example, do you think investment is a soft skill or hard skill?
Investment. It can be soft and it can be hard. The technique, how to invest. For example, let's say you want to use some financial ratio, and then you want to know how to bring out the formula, how to calculate something. What does it mean? What the ratio mean? That is the hard skill. And when you want to decide what to invest, why you want to invest in stock, crypto, or property, you need to like compare and have a lot of consideration. That part is the soft skill. How do you use your money effectively to generate more returns from that? That is a soft skill.
Yeah. So for investing, which part is more important?
I think it's the soft skill part, which is like what you want to invest, what is the opportunity cost, something like that. And then if you can find that, then hard skill can be learned and can be found online.
Yeah, and you remind me something, which is something like a soft skill is kind of like judgment, and hard skill kind of like you follow a set of rules and you can do it well. And try to imagine, try to give yourself a scenario, and inside your mind you try to think that there's an input, there's an output, and what is between them. Of course, in this case, it's not process. This is not an information theory. Okay, and the input is your effort. You put in the skills, whether soft skill or hard skill. And then what's the output? And is there any constant relationship? For example, you put in one, let's say one effort with your hard skill, you get 2. You put in 2, you get 4. You put in 3, yeah, something like this. There's a constant.
Yeah.
So a soft skill is something like you put in 1, you may get 1, but you put in 2, maybe you get 3. Maybe you put in 5, you get 10. Something like non-linear relationship. And to me, soft skill is something like this. It's kind of like follow the non-linear relationship, while hard skill follow the linear relationship.
For what we get here, do you mean like soft skill can be applied in many aspects? For example, problem solving, it can help in your investment as well as in your real life in other things. Do you mean like this? Do you mean this?
Can you repeat again?
Yeah, which is just now you say soft skills sometimes when we put in the effort like to maybe we can get the outcome or the so-called what we get maybe more than it is. Like you put in 1, you get 2, you put in 2, maybe you get 5, right? So the part we get here, do you mean on the same thing or on many things can be applied across our life? Why it will not be like the linear just as the hard skill?
For example, you know the knowledge, I also know the same knowledge.
Yeah.
We all know this world is going to be digitalized. But what you understand is not same as what I understand. So that we make different investment decisions. You invest in 3D printing, you invest in smartphone of this thing, and to me, it's just going to obsolete. And the next generation, we don't need smartphone. We need AR glasses or VR glasses. So we need AI. And if I want to do investment, my focus will be there. So I will invest Tesla. When everything going to digitalize.
Yep.
So, for stock, I will invest Tesla, only Tesla, and none of them can come into my watch list.
Yep.
And of course, and also for crypto. And we are, so I don't need to go into detail, but so this is something like this. So even though the same piece of information, you know it, but your understanding is different. And also maybe my understanding is incorrect, so it leads me to a worse result. So non-linear, it also means that if I make the right decision, I will gain tons and tons of benefit. It's not like I'm doing something that just require hard skill. Okay, doing something just require hard skill. This is important. The sentence combination. This is the premise. For example, you are doing accounting, and you work in a company. You're just doing this, and all of this thing is hard skill, and maybe require little judgment. But for smaller company like SME, it really don't require much of your judgment. So that you can apply hard skill and you don't even need to think. Just follow the rules, just follow the standard and do the accounting. And you earn a fixed income. Why the company need to pay you more when they can hire another person to do the same thing? Another example, let's say you are the person who sit in the ticket counter, maybe bus ticket counter. For example, maybe like customer service, maybe like cashier of this thing. You sit at the counter and then you do something, you sell something. Of course, you don't do the sales, you know. You don't go out and sell. You just, when people come, they say they want to buy bus ticket, you give them a bus ticket, they give you a money, something like that. Or maybe another is maybe the security guards. But of course, a higher classes of security guards, they involve the risk management. So this is related to soft skill. But the
Yeah.
low tier of the security guards, they just need to stand there. When something happens, they just follow the instruction.
Yeah.
Let's say when somebody run or somebody cross the gate, you just often stop.
Yeah.
Something like that. You follow the rules, you follow the standards. There's not much judgment for you to do. They don't want you to have your own judgment. This is the main thing. Yeah. If you have your own judgment, they fire you. So this is something what I say. If you want a non-linear output, you need to invoke some soft skills, and you will invoke some of your judgments. Otherwise, you just do something fixed and get something fixed. Of course, you still can improve yourself. Can learn more, and learning a skill is called soft skill. Right. Learning the learned, and also figure out what to learn. All of this thing is soft skill, of course. Critical thinking, problem solving. Yeah. Yeah, but that part is going too far. What I want to say is just about the relationship between the input and outputs.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me it is still like, won't you think this is like soft skill is a bigger skill, and this bigger skill can be applied by using many hard skill within it. Let's say you have uh, the awareness, and then you have problem solving, you have self-reflection. These are more towards soft skill. With this, if you do investment, you can use a lot of investment techniques. Those maybe are hard skill. Then you can perform your investment and then get a greater result because of this soft skill. You can apply many hard skill, and you can also like to judge which one you want to use, something like that.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think to go back to the point, I don't distinguish soft skill and hard skill. So whether you think soft skill is a bigger set of skill or not, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And when you are learning hard skill, you also can cultivate soft skill.
Yeah.
So it can work in both ways. So yeah, you don't really need to me, in my humble opinion, you don't really need to differentiate soft skill, hard skill. But of course, you should know what is important. And for example, why critical thinking is so important, why self-reflection, why the problem solving is so important. And one thing, maybe it's our topic. This is specifically to soft skill. Which soft skill do you think is more important? Let's say I give you two, critical thinking and problem solving. Which one is more important?
I think to me is problem solving to me.
Yeah, and actually, it should be critical thinking, because if you don't have a critical thinking, you got a problem, you solve it.
Mm.
But what if the problem is not going is no need to solve? You don't need to solve problem. Or maybe you design something. You design something, okay, and then or you try to do something. Let's say, for example, let me give you one example.
Mm.
Okay, you work as a teacher. Let's say you work as a teacher,
Yeah.
and then you're working hard. You try to solve everything you can. You try to help your students achieve better results. You try to help them solve the memory problem. Try to help them do many things.
Yeah.
And all of these things is problem solving, right?
Mm.
But what the real critical thinker will think, why I need to do all of these things? Why don't I cultivate their critical thinking? And they can do this for themselves. I don't need to solve all these problems.
Mm.
This is a critical thinking.
Yeah.
Of course, it requires problem solving because you also need to think how to solve a problem. You also need to try to solve a bigger problem.
Mm.
So problem solving, it could be you too focus on the problem, you too focus on the solving. Then it leads you over. It lets you. It makes you overlook a bigger problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And if you do something well, for example, some people start a business. Another example. Or you do investment. Actually, it's the same thing. You aim for industry. Let's say you aim for maybe like the newspaper industry. You think, okay, in local newspaper, yeah, still some people need to buy newspaper, and yeah, and I do local. I kind of like collect information and find out what's the news, what happened in my local, and then maybe I do it in newspaper, maybe I do it in magazine. When I distribute some people, and then I can try to find the businessman and the company want to put advertisements on my newspaper, on magazines. You can do this. This is a business.
Yeah.
But you put your effort on this. You put your effort on that industry, and as an investor, you put your money in this industry. But how about the industry? The industry is going to decline. People will less focus on local news because there's so many global news that capture their attention. They don't need to focus on the local news, and this is not attractive. Local news is not attractive. Global news, of course, most of the global news is not attractive, but some of them will. And the world is so big. Every day you have many interesting news that capture your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you spend your energy in the industry and you use your problem solving to solve every kind of problem. Find customer, finding news, work efficiently, work effectively. Yeah, do HR, hire people, hire journalists, and manage them. Try to let them stay in your company because they try to leave your company and go to a bigger company, work in a big firm. And you try to maintain, you try to let them stay, try to do a lot of things. You struggle about your profit, your revenues, all these things. So you apply your problem solving in this industry. But how about another people that think, or another investor that think, why don't I invest the most popular, the most promising and the high growing industry? And of course, you also need problem solving to solve our problem, and the problem is more difficult to solve, of course. Yeah, but as an investor, as a businessman, which kind of scenario you want? You want to work something that's For example, the market space is so small. You need to work so hard, exponentially hard, and you still have other competitors fighting for the same cake, the same pie with you, the small pie with you, and you need to work exponentially hard, and then you get exponentially lesser result. But you want to work in a big industry, everyone, yeah, we are in a competition, right? But the pie is so big, we don't really need to fight with each other. We just need to focus on how to make the world better, how to create more value.
Yeah.
So it is critical thinking. And it applies to every aspect. Your work, where do you spend time on?
Yeah. Yeah, for this I want to make some of my comment, which is also the same thing, which is the critical thinking and the problem solving. The reason that I chose problem solving just now is that to me problem solving is more towards action, taking action. But I didn't mean that critical thinking doesn't lead to action, but it's just the focus. And also, I think problem solving also have some awareness in it, not only for critical thinking, but critical thinking is like the focus is more on awareness. It's like a bigger picture, look at it. And problem solving is like more narrowed down to a specific thing, but it doesn't mean that it will like go at that direction forever. For example, the just now the magazine, the newspaper example, problem solving when you see maybe in this industry, when you find that you want to maybe bring out more sales, make more profit, you find a problem. It doesn't mean that you will go to solve the problem by maybe outperform your competitors. You can also choose to leave. You can also choose to focus on other aspect. That is also like to solve the problem.
What do you mean focus on other aspect?
Let's say today you want to go to eat, let's say fast food.
No, I mean I want the example of the business.
Yeah, okay. The business. Let's say you want to make your company making more sales, more profit, and then you find that it is very difficult because of many problems like competitors, and then you found the limitation there. Maybe the market is so saturated, or maybe the market itself is not big enough. Then to solve this problem, maybe you can like diversify your company's business, and then maybe focus a little bit on international market. That also could be problem solving, right?
Yeah, it's a problem solving. But a real critical thinker will say it's not going to work. And an investor will think, I don't want to invest in those companies who are in the declining industry, and then they plan to kind of like diversify their business into others, because most of the time they just don't work well. The best businesses is focus on the task and focus on one direction and do it very, 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 very well. What companies? What are the greatest companies you see? Can you name few that diversify in many industries? They're still very, very successful. Name them. Yeah, just list some of them.
Yeah, Google.
Google doing internet. They're doing search engine. They're doing the data mining. All of these things is one direction. They use the data to feed the AI. And then they try to capture more and more data to improve to improve their product and services. They give you use the Google Map, all these things, it's all free thing.
Yeah.
Any of them?
Yeah, it seems like those big and successful company, they didn't diversify to the extent that two business are not related or complement to each other.
For example, you look at McDonald's. McDonald's still focus on their own directions. They do it very, very good. They have the competitive. They have their own edge. Of course, you can say, yeah, they also have the farm. They also have maybe they invest in real estate. They have a franchise of this thing. They have their own supply chain, and also they have their own customer chain. Something like that. They control the whole chain. You can say in this. You can see like this, and also like they cooperate with the soft drink company, and also they do some advertisements, something like that. You can say all these things, and yeah, for example, nowadays McDonald's is trying to figure out how to do the NFT. But they're trying to find out the new thing they try to find out how to incorporate the new thing, the technology or some other interesting thing into their business and make their business better. They are not trying to do something and go to another industry and compete with others. They're still doing their own way. They're still doing their own thing and doing very, very good. Like Coca-Cola. Yeah, the company is so boring. But why don't they put their money on other industry? Apple. Yeah. Tesla. No, they don't. Alibaba. No, they don't. Tencent. They shift their focus. They shift their focus more towards the gaming. Initially, they're doing the communications. Yeah. But after that, they shift their focus to the gaming. And Tencent doing so well. And compared to other companies, try to do everything, but none of them is good. Let's say Xiaomi. Xiaomi try to build the car.
Yeah, home appliance.
Is going to success? No, definitely no. It's not going to fight with other the EV company, native EV company, and also traditional company who also want to build the EV. Xiaomi don't have any brand awareness. They don't have their brand, and people don't willing to buy. People is not going to buy Xiaomi car because Xiaomi is always build the cheap product. Of course, the cheap product doesn't mean that cheap quality, but people will have that idea with the concept. And how about Huawei? Yeah, Huawei really, really do something. They really focus on their age. Of course, they do quite a lot of things, like 2 or 3 things, but all of these things is related to kind of like, okay, Huawei do the 5G, the internet infrastructure. This is their age. Then second, Huawei also built is also a phone manufacturer. Yeah. And also like the software of this thing, and also he built it on chip. But all this thing is just one thing. It's actually one thing. It's about the phones, doing the phone, and they just want to figure out how to do the phones very, very good. It's kind of like this is a Chinese version of Apple. Apple also do one thing really, really well, and they have their own best chip in the world. Yeah, the best chip, even better than Huawei. They also build their own ecosystem. Huawei also try to build their own ecosystem. But they don't like, yeah. And also Huawei also try to go into the IoT industry and also go into like the self-driving car industry. But Huawei have their own strategy. They cooperate with others. They focus on building the AI. They focus on building a software. And yeah, but it's also a risky move. It's also a risky move.
Yeah.
But if you look at the really top company, and yeah, all of them you try to do one thing really well. And of course, when they become so successful, when they become really that successful, and then they can try to put some effort on other emerging industry to try to become consistently successful in the new industry. But they don't do it when they are still not the top company, when they are still don't have an edge in their own industry. They don't do it. Yeah, you also can say Xiaomi have their own edge in their in his Chinese market or in his foreign market, but I don't think so. Because people choose their product is because of the price. And when other company build a cheaper product and the relatively high, relatively same quality, and people just buy another phone, just like me. To be honest, my current phone is not Xiaomi, even though I like Xiaomi brand. I buy the Xiaomi brands. I buy Xiaomi phones for my girl. Just like Realme and Xiaomi, which one is cheaper? And then I buy that one. So, yeah, the really successful company then really know to focus on something, become so good, become top in the industry, and they have nothing to do already in the industry. They try to find the next. They try to find the next opportunity. But they don't find as much opportunity at the beginning when they are still very weak. Try to imagine you ask your father, diversify the motor industry into other industry. What would they say? What would he say?
Yeah. Actually, I realized that just now I should say expand instead of diversify, because but it's never mind. This is also a good discussion. What I want to say is expand the market. It's not like expand to other industry.
Expand is still the same, even though expand in the same industry. How much money you can make in the industry? The newspaper company, the newspaper industry, how much money you can make? Magazine industry, how much money you can make? You can go online. You can go fight with the international company, the Wall Street Journal, the Economist, like the New York Times. All these very big traditional. They are newspaper company, and then they move online, and yeah, they find their way. They expand their business.
Yeah.
And if you are the new business, are you going to fight with them? What are you going to do? How do you allocate your money? This is not just doing a business. You can use your money to do investment. You also can use your money to do a stock up. Which one you need to do? which one you should do. It's a critical thinking. It's not problem solving.
Yeah. But still a little bit disagreement in my mind. It's like I think problem solving when the problem is kind of like uh not easy to solve, you will also choose alternative, right? Let's
Yeah.
say this industry is not that uh giving you much potential in the future,
I
then
think
one
okay.
of the way to solve it is like you quit the industry.
Yeah. I think my point is, if you do something right, you wouldn't have a lot of problems to solve.
Yeah, you mean at the beginning, when choosing which industry, require much critical thinking and won't end up in many problems, is it?
For example, if you do investment, for me, I use dollar cost averaging. Why I use it? And people can also choose to use the to pick the timing to time the market of this thing, and then they will have many problems need to solve. When they choose this kind of strategy, they have to find out how to time the market. When they need to learn so much things, they
Yeah.
try to solve every single problem, and
Yeah.
then they try to find out, okay, what's the macro environment, when to sell, is it too high, whether the stock is undervalued or value this thing. How about industry, is it in a bubble, how about the economy, yeah, how about pandemic, yeah, how about maybe the Fed is going to raise, how will it impact my stock of this thing. But if you just find out this is the best company I can do, or a set of company, maybe in different industry or maybe in the same industry, whatever, you find out a set of company you have really, really high conviction. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just do dollar cost averaging, and then you don't care about the short-term volatility. 5 years later, come back and see. 10 years later, come back and see. Yeah, and you compare the performance of this kind of strategy to the try to time the market. 90+% of the active mutual fund manager underperform the market, the SP 500 or the QQQ. They are expert, they are expert, but they underperform the market. Wouldn't it kind of like, is it a problem solving? Is this a critical thinking, right? They have so many problems need to solve. They hire so many people to build a great company, to build a investment firms, but they underperform the market. As a retail investor, you don't have the maybe the full information just as they can get to do a lot of research, but you invest in markets. Your dollar cost averaging is 500 and your returns better than them. What's the meaning to do all those research? What's the meaning hire so much people? Why they try to solve every single problem? Why they try to expand from stock market to bond market to real estate market, try to achieve a higher alpha, higher yield, expand to crypto market, but they still underperform the market, the whole market. If I think crypto is a good market, I just dollar cost, right? If I think real estate is a good market, I dollar cost averaging. If I think bond is good, I dollar cost averaging. If I think stock is good, I dollar cost averaging. Find out the best. Have your own conviction. Fire lasers, come back and see. So this is the point I want to make. If you do the thing really, really right, there isn't that much problem allow you to solve.
Yeah. Actually, somehow I think, problem solving and critical thinking do you think they are overlap a little? For example, before you come up with dollar cost averaging in your investment, do you encounter any other problems? Do you find that your investment strategy has got problem?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
Mm.
isn't that you keep discovering problems and then you want to solve your problem and then uh, also maybe more towards critical thinking, you find that you should jump up a little bit and then to change your strategy.
Yeah, they are overlap, a little bit overlap.
Hmm.
Mm. But it it's still the same. My point is, if you do the thing really, really right, you don't have much problem to solve. You don't need to think too complicated. This is this is this is the point I want to make. Mm.
Hmm.
So how to make your decision more true, more toward
Yeah.
the true? Does it require problem solving or does it require more critical thinking?
Um, yeah, I think yeah, critical thinking more, but also
Mm. Yeah,
problem
also
solving.
problem solving because you need
Mm.
to try and error.
Yeah,
You need
trial
to
and
try.
error. Yes.
Mm. But people also do trial and error. You also do trial and error to learn English. Mm. I also using the trial and error to learn English.
Mm.
And I also using a trial and error to learn investment, to learn
Mm.
other things, to learn programming.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
But the key point is if you know the the concept, if you know the main thing to do, you do it right. You don't need to solve a lot of single problem because all the problem will just go away. It just doesn't exist to you.
Mm.
For example, Tesla, they don't need to care about the demand. They don't need to do marketing, you know. Mm. Yeah, because their car is so popular, they don't even need to spend money on marketing.
Mm.
They don't. And also other traditional companies, they worry about macro environment. Why? Because when market environment is not good, consumer have less money to buy the car, and then the demand of their car lower. But Tesla, they have this problem. The demand is overshoot. Yeah, they
Mm.
undersupply their demands. Even though the demand comes down a little bit, they can sell. And they focus on the self-driving car, the software, self-driving car. In the past, I give you some example. The utility, even though the price of the car double, but the
Mm.
utility of the car is 5 times more. People will still want to buy the car
Mm. Yeah.
when they can rent out the car and make money.
Yeah.
When they
This
can
is
free
the
up their
value, right? They create.
when they can free up their time, they don't need to spend their time on driving. They can do
Mm.
some other productive things.
Yes.
So this is a problem solving. Yes, because the problem is really, really difficult to solve. Some like Google, Apple, they try to use a LiDAR to solve the problem. And Tesla, they use radar. They think LiDAR is not going to work. It's
Mm.
expensive. And when LiDAR and radar, when both information is conflict, we still need to use radar. So what's the point to use LiDAR? And now Tesla abandoned all the and now Tesla abandoned all the radar, use only the camera, use only the vision, and train the the AI. Is this a problem solving or is this a critical thinking? Mm. In Elon Musk's mind, the first principle thinking is human can drive a car. Human use the eyes to drive a car. Technically, AI should do the same thing. AI can use just rely on pure vision to drive a car. We don't need other fancy equipment, LiDAR, radar. We don't need that. We just need vision. It's the first principle thinking of the Elon Musk. And now who is right? It seems like Elon Musk is right. Yeah. But why Apple, why Google still focus on LiDAR? Why they still try to build, and including Huawei, why they still try to build the very high resolution map in order to support the LiDAR? Because if you choose a LiDAR route, you need a very high resolution map, and you need to keep updating your map, because every single changes will make your the self will reduce the ability of the AI, the self-driving car, because they rely on the map, they rely on the LiDAR. The Tesla is something like they rely on the reaction, just like human. We drive the car, we rely on our reaction. We don't need to understand every single incident happen on the route. We just need to ensure some principle. So this is critical thinking. Yeah. That's why the top company they have different choice. Is this just a problem solving? Are you going to say Apple engineer and Google engineer, Huawei engineer, they don't have high level problem solving skill? No. They have very high level problem solving skill, maybe better than Tesla, and all of them combined together, yeah, their problem solving skills still better than Tesla. If you combine all the engineer in those top company, 5 or 6 company versus just one company, Tesla, they can solve problem quicker, more effective, because more people, they can do the brainstorming, more idea, more effective, more efficient. Yeah, so the point is, if you do the thing right, you will have less problem to solve.
Yeah, so this is something like when we compare them importance, yes, critical thinking is outperform problem solving in this aspect, which is like when you choose the right direction, less problem it will have. Yep. Okay. Yeah, the time is running out. Anything want to add in?
No.
All right. So we put an end here for today.
Okay. Talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Goodbye.